Let's start off with number one, a team that was in the playoffs last year. Tennessee Volunteers went 10-2, had decent overall quarterback play, solid run game with Dylan Sampson, an elite defense. No more Dylan Sampson. No more Nico Iamaleava. Multiple defensive players are off to the NFL. Still a good nucleus, not an elite one anymore. So, Dave, in your opinion, when looking at this team and looking at their schedule, what is the way that Tennessee can make the college football playoff once more in 2025?
This is the thing me and you agree on, Bear. I mean, first thing that comes to mind, and again, I thought Tennessee was in that 8-4, 9-3, leaning 9-3 going to the season before Nico left.
Yeah.
They're now still kind of in that 8-4, 9-3, but to why they could make the playoffs, I just think it's a schedule. I mean, me and you, Greg, it's not a very difficult schedule, and it wasn't last year. And I think it was a big reason why, outside the defense and Dylan Sampson, as you mentioned on the run game, why they made the playoffs. I'm going to say a schedule is a big reason why I think. I mean, it's also year 5 for Josh Heupel, but I do think I am concerned about Tennessee. I will say that. I am concerned about them. The more you go on, the more you watch some more film of Joey Aguilar. I don't know if it's going to be the floor. Some may think I'm going to be a little bit higher on him than I initially was when he first came on. But the decision making could be there more so than it was with Nico. I don't know if it's even just him, man. There's so many question marks like me and you talked about on a lot of these shows, Bear, like that I think have to hit for Tennessee to get back to the playoffs. Someone step up in the receiver spot. We both like Mike Matthews, but I got to see it before I can believe it. I mean, you lost Cade Mays at the center spot. You lost a lot of other offensive linemen that are just gone. Like, you lost Dylan Sampson. Again, me and you both agree. I think it's going to be a little bit more by committee. Peyton Lewis, Deshaun Bishop. I think Star Thomas could definitely help out. Like, it could be more by committee. I don't think it should be Dylan Sampson. We know Tim Banks, Rodney Garner, and them lost a lot on that defense. I mean, Jamon McCoy's back, but there's a lot of holes to fill. I think this is a year Tennessee's going to be very fortunate to get a schedule or to get the schedule that they can. They lean a little bit more towards me how I thought Missouri was last year, Bear. I don't really think Missouri was really like a true 9-3 team. They were, but like I think they were a 9-3 team because of their schedule more so than that's what they actually were. And I get that same feel for Tennessee. But as you can probably tell, man, I'm not overly confident now in the Vols. I do think Nico is definitely a loss. But the schedule still, if I'm a Tennessee fan, very beneficial schedule. So that should give you something to be excited about.
I actually do still think that they can make the playoffs. Now, number one, it is the schedule. You look top to bottom, probably the Georgia game because of it's early in the season. You throw that into the conversation with a new quarterback that's being brought into Josh Heupel's system is probably chalked up as a loss. What if we are overhyping Alabama? Just a little bit. What if their offense isn't as advertised? Quarterback play is insufficient. You have, I think, a good enough defense still to march on into Bryant-Denny and make this a battle on the third Saturday in October. I know that you've had struggles playing against Florida in the swamp, but overall, roster-wise, I think that you're pretty even keel if you have solid quarterback play and if you have anybody step up at wide receiver. I think there's a lot to like about this being a matchup that probably Tennessee can at least be competitive in. And then every other game, in my opinion, is winnable. So you're talking about going 11-1, 10-2 at best in the SEC. That would mean that you're a guaranteed spot in the college football playoff because I don't see a scenario where a double-digit win team in the SEC, the most profitable conference, is being left out. So that's a factor. The other thing is that I was not high on the wide receivers last year for Tennessee, and I think I made that abundantly clear on multiple occasions. I was not high on Squirrel White. I was not high on Dante Thornton. I was not high that much on Chris Brazzell, but I thought Brazzell could have been the breakout star, and I wasn't high on Brew McCoy. Well, one is off to Tallahassee, one is off to the NFL, one's retired. So it's a brand new wide receiver room. And sometimes it may be unproven, but that to me also could mean it's a mold of clay. I can turn this into however I see fit for my personnel. I need somebody to do extremely well in the slot. Okay, I'm calling Braylon Staley. He's going to be a factor from day one. I need somebody to be that vertical threat. Okay, Mike Matthews, your time to step on up. I need somebody to be a third down target, a chain mover. Travis Smith, you impressed me throughout all of spring practice. Can you be that dude? I think you throw in decent tight end play with Miles Kitzelman. I know he's coming off of the injury, but I still believe that he could be something. I also really do like what you have when it comes to Ethan Davis back for another year. So I like the personnel around Joey Aguilar. And then my third point is I think the defense is going to take a step back, but not by as much as some want to make it out to be. Like, I know that I am a lot more bullish on this secondary than probably most, But I also do think that the addition of Colton Hood, the kid that came on in from Colorado, is going to add at least solid depth, if not be a potential starter midway through the year, which could end up helping with the turnover rate, which could end up helping you win a couple of battles in the third and fourth quarter. So I like that when it comes to Tennessee. I just need you to be a consistent offense. I need you, if you are Joey Aguilar, fifth-year starter, whether that be at JUCO, whether that be at the Group of Five level, the newcomer, a Sun Belt Player of the Year at Appalachian State, just be a point guard. Don't throw the football into harm's way. Find your rapport with whichever receivers really stand on out and know when it's time for you to tuck and run or get it out of bounds to hit reset on the play, and that way you don't get a turnover. Those are the things that I look at and I say, if I can split the series between Florida and Alabama and I lose to Georgia and I win out the rest of the way and I don't fall short against a Mississippi State squad, or I don't fall short against a Kentucky squad, or I don't fall short against Syracuse in week 1, we're good enough to be 10-2. And if we're 10-2, we're in the college football playoff. If anything, this schedule and the fact that I think that you're bringing in new receivers and Chris Brazel's like your veteran, if anything, I think that that's kind of a blessing right now for Tennessee, because if you can lose Nico Iamaleava and still feel like there is a shot for us to go to the playoff.
Yeah. And I mean, why they won't, it's a lot of the stuff I already said. I'm not going to be very long-winded, people. I mean, I just think there's a lot of holes in this roster. I think about all of them are going to have to click for them to get back. I mean, it's tough to say about a lot of teams all year, but again, I know a lot of Tennessee fans are kind of moving the goalpost now, kind of glad Nico was going to leave, but I think there was room for growth in this next year for him. Hopefully, again, I think overall he is kind of a slow processor, has a slow blinker. I think Joey Aguilar probably can diagnose stuff a little quicker. I think it's going to be a sliding scale of good and bad. Probably you're going to hit some more shot plays downfield because he won't be afraid to take them. But I also think that may come with some more turnovers. So I mean, it's gonna play itself out. But it just, even outside the quarterback spot, I just don't think they hit on a center replacement, on 2 to 3 guys stepping up at the wide receiver spot. I'm with you, Barry. The defense probably isn't going to be bad because I do trust Tim Banks and I love Rodney Garner. I think they've both done a phenomenal job building that front seven. But, I mean, outside of Arian Carter and Jamad McCoy, I
think Jackson Roy may have a decent year.
I like Joshua Josephs. We recruited him when I was in it, and I think I was expecting a little bit more of a bigger year from him last year, but I definitely think he's that edge guy that should step up in year 4 for Rodney Garner. This is usually when his bets step up. I'd expect a big year for him. I just think for them to go back now that Nico is officially gone, you have a quarterback who is not with you in the spring. It's just tough. So I think why they wouldn't make it speaks for themselves if you're being objective. A lot of holes, and like I said, the reason why they could. Still enough talent, year 5. Josh Heupel's done a really good job so far in Knoxville, and like me and Barry have agreed, talked on since the beginning of 2025. Tennessee schedule once again very beneficial in 25.
For me, do you remember when Peyton Thorne came into Auburn and a lot of people were skeptical about him automatically just winning the starting job outright based off of what quarterbacks you already had in the building? You talked to Hugh Freeze, and he said that offseason, one of the things that deteriorated us having immediate success with Peyton was he wasn't here for spring. So he didn't get those 15 practices to build a relationship with his wide receivers, learn the ins and outs of what we were running with Philip Montgomery's offense, what we wanted to do with the run game. There were all these little factors that eventually really hurt Auburn in the passing attack. And it doesn't help that you had an overrated quarterback, in my opinion, when it came to a kid coming in from Michigan State. That being said, those 15 practices, I think, do wonders for a quarterback just to get comfortable. And Joey Aguilar is not going to have those 15 practices. He's going to have a fall camp. He's going to be able to, once he gets on campus, call up Mike Matthews, call up Travis Smith, call up Braylon Staley, call up Ethan Davis, call up Miles Kitselman, say, hey, let's do film study throughout the summer. Let's make sure that we're throwing 3 times a week. Let's make sure that we're hanging out. We're building that relationship off the field. And I think that could do wonders when it comes to trust factor. But there's also what you see in practice is what you're going to be able to kind of build upon. And he's not going to have that time. And so the timing of this is it's really sour, because if I actually do think that, I agree with you. I think that Joey Aguilar is, in my opinion, from an IQ standpoint, more advanced than what Nico is right now. He's got multiple years of starting experience underneath his belt. I think his decision-making may be better. I think also that the turnover rate may be up, but so will the touchdown rate. I think that he'll be able to throw more touchdowns because he's more of that gunslinger mentality. And I think that fits for what Josh Heupel's offense wants. But I think the big selling point will be those 15 spring practices just to build a foundation with the offense, just to feel comfortable running the system. That may make or break 2 or 3 games. That may eventually lead to a 9-3 season or an 8-4 season on what could have been a 10-2 season. It sounds really stupid, but I don't think enough people pay attention to what those 15 allotted practices do for a player's confidence and an understanding and a dialect of knowing what a personnel wants. And he doesn't have that. And so that is my fear, is that for Tennessee, they're going to have a lot of pieces there. They're going to be really good in the run game. They're going to feel better about the wide receiver room, but Joey's still playing catch up, and now we're going into the third quarter down by 10 against Georgia, and we just got to chalk this one up as an L and hopefully expect the best when we play Alabama, expect the best when we play Florida, when we play Kentucky, when we play Mississippi State, when we play all these other teams, and we don't slip and fall on our end of the bargain. Like, that's how I feel right now when it comes to the Joey Aguilar not being there for the spring.
Yeah, I mean, getting is what it is. I just think that's going to inevitably push. And it's why the over-under win total in Vegas dropped and stayed there.
It had to. It had to drop because of the experience of having a quarterback in the system for multiple years automatically outweighs, I think, any player who may have more potential or more immediate upside simply because if they know what a coach is looking for. And Joey doesn't know that just yet. And that's the difference right now, in my opinion.
Yeah, 8.5 is a good over-under number for them.